But as we sit here today, we know the law in terms of the assets recovered are supposed to be handed over to Treasury. Even us, we would have wished actually to utilize some of the fund that we recover, but unfortunately that is the way the law is. And as he had indicated, it takes a while to amend a legislation. So, but we will talk. That doesn't close the door. We will talk and see how we can manage some of these things. Next, let me just say one thing that I want to share with you people is in today's Star newspaper, there is a headline which some of you may have seen, some of you may not have seen, but for those of us who have an interest in that area, we read it in the morning, and it is one of the things that for a while we've been trying actually to explain to the senators, and it is good that it has come up. The only thing that the journalists should have done is to go further and know how we can solve that problem. Because what the newspaper headline says is nothing for projects as pay gobbles up billions. Here they are talking about the county governments. And for a while, we've actually been recommending and saying the problem we have at the county governments is mainly due to the issue of human resource management, where the governor has the leeway to hire as many people as possible, whether they are qualified or not. And we all know that an institution is as good as the people who run it. So if the recruitment, the transfers, the deployment is all not done professionally, then definitely you don't expect a good product. So I want to congratulate whoever did that story and urge him to go further and find out what is the solution to that problem. We have recommended few solutions, one of them being that should we have one centralized public service board as opposed to having 47 public service boards. We know in the national government or in the national structure, we have the commission, the Public Service Commission. Could we have something similar to that so that we remove the control of employment, deployment, transfers from the county governor to a central body that actually manages all the staff within the public, within the county public service boards, so that we have a more professional, more engaged, more mixed. Like today, again, I was just listening to one of the news, radios, news on one of the radio stations, and there is one MCA, I think from Bungoma, who was saying in their county, everybody in the finance department comes from the same locality, from the same, whereas we know there are even more serious areas where you have the finance and the procurement departments managed by people from the same family. Now, that is the situation we are dealing with. At the EACC, of course, our job is to investigate, arrest, and charge when the prosecutor gives us the consent to charge. But don't you think as a country, after 12 years or so of experimenting with the county governments, we need to come up with situations where we come up with solutions as opposed to firefighting? And I think one major solution that we have proposed before is the issue of having one centralized county government public service board, which of course many people do not like, but I think it is something that is worth trying so that we get out of this situation where we keep on arresting people and we end up in a workable situation where the county governments are able to deliver on the mandates that they have been appointed or elected to do. So on the other issues, we will engage them during the plenary, because it will take a while for us to deal with all the issues that were raised. Very valid points from Joe Ageo, from Churchill, from the president. But some of them, we will deal with them at the plenary because I have a very short speech which I wanted to read before we move on to the next assignment. First, let me adapt the protocol that has already been established so as to save us time. And I just want to, first of all, say that it is a great honor to be here today for yet another opportunity to engage with the media, a critical partner in our shared mission to enhance integrity, transparency, and accountability in our beloved country. This is our third engagement at the Kenya Editor Guild Press Club, but a first in my tenure as the Secretary/CEO of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. I acknowledge the continued good working relationship the Commission has with the media sector. The media undeniably plays a pivotal role in shaping the public discourse, exposing wrongdoings, and holding both individuals and institutions accountable. In the fight against corruption, the media acts as both a powerful ally and a vigilant watchdog. The theme of today's engagement is turning the tide from stolen assets to public good. The theme seeks to highlight the crucial link between the Commission's strategic focus on asset tracing and recovery and the utilization of the recovered assets for the greater public good. As we unpack enforcement, promotion of ethics and integrity, prevention of corruption and unethical practices, education, training, and public awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act of 2003 mandates the EACC to recover corruptly acquired assets, unexplained assets, and proceeds of corruption. This is achieved through criminal confiscation, non-conviction-based confiscation, alternative dispute resolution, and surrender. The rationale behind the asset recovery is to ensure that the corrupt do not profit from their corrupt conduct. Its deterrent effect cannot, therefore, be gainsaid. This, among others, has informed the paradigm shift by the Commission to focus on recovery of proceeds of crime. Accordingly, in the last 5 years, the EACC has traced and recovered corruptly acquired and unexplained assets with an estimated value of 28 billion Kenya shillings. These assets have since been restored for public use. You will recall that in September last year, the Commission handed over landed properties valued at Kenya shillings 5 billion and the cash assets worth 514 million to the beneficial public entities in a ceremony that was presided over by His Excellency the President. Additionally, the Commission is currently pursuing over 400 cases at various stages of trial for forfeiture of corruptly acquired assets estimated at Kenya shillings 50 billion Kenya shillings. During my assumption of office, I made an undertaking that the Commission will prioritize the following interventions to bolster the fight against corruption. 1, asset tracing, recovery, and forfeiture of unexplained assets. As mentioned here above, the objective of the strategy is 1, to trace and recover unexplained assets, restitute the recovered assets to the public, and to create a deterrence. Number 2 in the list was monitoring capital-intensive projects. As a strategic intervention, this approach is intended to 1, identify corruption loopholes in the major projects, monitor budget absorption and application, undertake timely investigative interventions on detected corruption, and finally to create deterrence for misappropriation of public funds. 3 in the list was enhance integrity testing at service points. The Commission has observed increasing cases of bribery at service delivery points, which negatively impacts the ability of government to provide efficient and effective services at affordable costs. To curb the vice, the Commission will intensify integrity testing programs to detect and prevent bribery at service delivery points, thus restoring confidence in the public sector. Fourth is the strengthening compliance with Chapter 6 of the Constitution on leadership and integrity. The Commission will continue to advocate for reforms to strengthen the policy and legislative framework for enforcement of Chapter 6 of our Constitution, such as the pending Conflict of Interest Bill 2023 and the Anti-Corruption Laws Amendment Bill 2025. 5 on the list is training and capacity building. Training is a crucial component due to the complex and evolving nature of corruption. To ensure continued effectiveness, the corruption will enhance the capacity of the National Integrity Academy to provide specialized and structured courses on ethics and anti-corruption. Let me add here that when your president visited us at Integrity Center, one of the things we discussed was how can we train the journalists who report on crime and also court reporters, for them to understand what it takes to go through, a corruption investigation, and where does the commission's role end, and where does the prosecutor's role start, and where does the court's role start. And we are now, because we have a fully fledged academy, and we have, we have courses which have already drawn the curriculum. I think all that it takes is just to find the funding, and then we work with your president so that we are able to train a few of you, or as much as we can. So that is something under discussion. We are discussing that, and of course, we would want to do that. So, I just want to say that the director of the academy is right there. Madam, you can stand up, just to confirm that we really have an academy. Thank you. So sixth is the technology as enabler of institutional efficiency. Technology has become a powerful tool in the fight against corruption, enhancing transparency and accountability. And I think this is an area where I think Joe Ageo mentioned what AI can do. Even Omoyo talked about it. And we also don't want to be left behind. That is something we really want to embark on seriously. So I invite you, the media, to work closely with us, for together we can ensure that corruption does not rob our nation of a bright future. We are exploring opportunities to have regular and structured engagement with the media, including training and capacity building programs, which I've just mentioned. On that note, let me now introduce a very key person to our partnership. Let me introduce Mr. Stephen Karuga. Stephen, you can just stand up and wave. Yeah, Mr. Karuga is the newly appointed head of corporate affairs and communication. He's a lawyer by profession. He was a prosecutor at the ODPP's office. He was also working at the judiciary as a researcher. So he's he's actually a well, he's experienced in that field. So those areas that you people were, not sure about, just sit down, Stephen. That is it legal to do this, or is it illegal to do this, or how do we go about these issues? Please get in touch with Karuga. Mr. Karuga will help you, and that is mainly why we really appointed him to take that seat. So let me reiterate that the fight against corruption cannot be won by EACC alone. It is a collective effort that requires the support of every sector of our society. Consequently, I invite the media to continue being a vanguard in championing a corruption-free society. So thank you very much. and I think I deserve a clap. So at that note, I now want to invite my chairperson. When Omoyo was talking about the hot seats and all those, surely you all know EACC CEO's office is a very hot seat. But the good thing about that seat is I have a chairperson who can actually stand up at any moment, to make things a bit cooler, whether it is by action or by prayer. So, so let me at this juncture invite my chairperson, Dr. David Oginde, to give his keynote address.